Hi, I'm Rand from Randmockguitars. And real quick before we begin, I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an overview. If you're new here, you probably clicked on because you saw the giveaway for 2 free guitars, and we'll get to that really quickly. But if you've watched any of my previous content, you'll know that I like to do things a little bit differently. I like to explore concepts. The concept for this is going to actually be really, really important to the final outcome and to the giveaway. So I'm encouraging you guys to kind of sort of watch the whole thing through. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the concept that inspired this idea we're going to build. And then we're going to go into the design and the SketchUp of each of those guitars. And then we're going to go over the giveaway and how you can join to win one of 2 of the guitars that are being given away. And last but not least, we'll cover any caveats that might apply. So I want to thank you guys for being here. I'm really excited about how this is going to turn out. And so let's get to it. So our journey begins in the 70th year AD, when a philosopher by the name of Plutarch came up with a thought experiment. In the original experiment, it was called the Ship of Theseus because it referenced the boat. But apropos to our situation, we're going to call this the Guitar of Theseus. And the thought experiment works like this. Theseus is a rock star and he's going on tour. So he buys himself a new guitar. In the process of the tour, he starts to change parts out. He feels that the pickups aren't really doing it for him, so he changes out the pickups and he puts in 2 new pickups. Is it still the same guitar? Asks Plutarch. I think most people would agree that just because you change the pickups out on a guitar or the strings out on a guitar doesn't mean that it's a different guitar. It's still the same guitar. But as the tour progresses, the neck breaks, and so Theseus has his roadie replace the neck. Is it still the same guitar? And what happens when the body isn't doing it for him anymore, or it breaks, and so he takes the guitar body and he decides to put on a new one? Is this still the Guitar Thesis? Every part has been changed. Every wire, every piece of it is completely different now. Is this still the Guitar Thesis? And if it isn't, at what point did it stop being the Guitar Thesis? Was it after the pickups changed? After the neck? At what point does a thing stop being what it is? So Hobbes added a second additional wrinkle to the question. Imagine if the roadie saved all the original pieces of the guitar. And so he put the original neck, the original pickups, the original wires, the original body, and he puts them all together again. Hobbes asked, is this the real Guitar Thesis? Or is this the real Guitar Thesis? Or are they both? I think the part of this paradox that captured my imagination was the implication that an object has an essence beyond just the parts themselves. So when I started my guitar company 3 years ago, I was obsessed with this idea. And you can see how it applies to guitars, especially custom guitars. Making guitars is basically the making of parts and then putting those parts together as a cohesive whole. One of the things that I wanted to do in my designs is to include the maximum amount of variability into each and every part. And so the idea of creating a model of guitar in which everything could be changed and yet it retains its essential identity was really kind of sort of a challenge for me. And then the idea that each of those parts can then be customized in order to meet the needs of the player, that really kind of sort of got me going and thinking. With that in mind, I came up with this idea of how I wanted to put these guitars together. And that's where I came up with the Element series. So this is much easier to kind of sort of demonstrate than it is to explain. But we're going to go back to the Greeks and we're going to go with the 4 basic elements: earth, fire, air, and water. And we're going to use each of those elements as kind of sort of a template in order to explore the different variations that we can create with all these different variables. So let me introduce to you what I'm calling the Randmockguitars Element series. We begin with our first element, earth. Earth is the element of matter and structure. It is the element of the physical world and the material. It symbolizes stability and endurance, and it's the element of tradition. For me, the inspiration of this guitar is represented in a tree that's in my backyard. I live on a mountain and I have a very steep grade on my property, and there's this tree that has grown and wrapped its roots around this boulder. The tree and the rock are just massive, and they perfectly capture that element of earth. So I want this guitar to be a combination of both wood and metal. Being the earth element, I also want this to be the most traditional of the guitars that we're going to do. So we start off with the headstock, and it's going to be a composite between metal and wood. And I think people are going to be really surprised by what I have in mind. We're going to have a 24 fret, 25.5 inch scale length neck. That's going to be a set neck. The lower horn will also be a metallic composite. It's going to be a two-piece body. It's going to have a Bigsby tremolo and a nod to tradition. I'm also going to put in my favorite pickup combination with a P90 in the neck and a humbucker PAF style in the bridge. The goal here is a classic, sustain and warmth, a guitar suited to all styles. Fire consumes earth. Fire is the element of energy, of change and transformation. Fire is the element of passion, impulsivity, and excitement. As such, I want this guitar to be the most modern of all four. To start off, it's going to be a headless guitar with a 25.5 inch scale length, 24 frets, on a really fast neck. It's going to be a bolt-on neck, and it's going to be a solid body guitar. It's also going to have what I call the ergo lower horn, which you're going to have to watch the series to see what that is, but I'm excited about that option. It's going to be a one-piece, lightweight, solid body guitar, and the carve and the shape is going to be altered to make it more modern and sleek. The bridge will be a floating headless tremolo and a single high output pickup at the bridge with coil splits. Having recently become a fan of headless guitars, I'm really looking forward to this build. Air fans the flames of fire. Air is the element of ideas, associated with thought and mind. It is associated with creativity and communication. It is the element of clarity and vision. My inspiration for this guitar is this state of Zen. This guitar will have a wood headstock, a 25.5 inch scale length fretboard, and it's going to be a set neck. Where this guitar starts to veer from other guitars, it's going to be a hollow body. The F-holes that are shown in the picture are still a work in progress. It's going to have a floating tremolo. I'm thinking of a Vega Trem. And where this guitar is going to stand out is that normally we think of a hollow body guitar as having that warm, jazzy feel. But what I'm going to go for here is that clarity of single coil pickups. The goal here is elegance, clarity, articulation, and refinement. Air pours the water back to earth. Water is the element of emotion, intuition, and the subconscious. It is depth, mystery, and deep feelings. My inspiration for this guitar is the Leviathan. To capture those depths, this guitar will be a baritone guitar with a 27.75 inch scale length, which should allow for a tuning down to a low G and maybe even comfortably a low E. It'll be a bolt-on neck with a solid one-piece body. The bridge will be a standard tremolo, and the pickups are going to be two dual-rail, single-coil space pickups, voiced for warmth and clarity. A lot of guitar players might be turned away by the baritone scale of this, but don't sleep on this one. I think it's going to be amazing. That wraps up the four elements. There's a lot of details I'm leaving out, but you're going to have to follow in order to see. I hope these guitars excite your imagination as much as they excite mine. So finally, the giveaway. How do you join? Well, it's simple. Just subscribe to the channel, go to my website, linked in the description box down below, and click the join button, and you're good to go. The winner will be chosen at random. There's a second way of winning, and that's by submitting a piece of music. Pick whichever element inspires you the most, earth, fire, whichever. Write a piece of music and submit that. The cool thing about submitting music is that you get two chances to win, right? If you don't win the submission, then you still go into the random pile. So you double your chances of winning. Another cool thing about submitting music is that you get first pick of the guitars. The person who wins the random will have the guitar picked by me. The reason why I'm doing it this way is to encourage participation. I know there's a lot of people who aren't confident enough, or maybe you're a new player and you don't feel like you're going to win a submission. And I want you guys to feel like you have a chance to win, and I want you guys to be a part of this thing. But I would encourage everybody to submit a piece of music. You might think that you're not good enough, or you might think that I'm looking for the person with the best technique. You might think I'm looking for the real flashiest player. But the truth of the matter is, I'm more interested in the vibe. And if you can do that with a few chords and a few notes, and you can nail that vibe, you have just as good a chance of winning as an advanced player. The fact is, my inspiration for the giveaway, and actually for the channel itself and building guitars on a professional scale, was to actually interact with you guys, guitar players. I know what I like in a guitar, but I need to know what you like in a guitar. I think the more I know about what it is that you're interested in, what it is that you guys like, the better a guitar maker I'll be. All right, so now we get to the caveats, right? First and foremost, the shipping. I know I can confidently ship to anyone in the United States and Canada or North America. I'm pretty sure I'm confident about that. I don't want to discourage people from around the world from participating, but I don't know about shipping or what the laws are or what the cost is to Saskatchewan or wherever it is you might be. So you can join, but if it's too difficult to ship it to you, it'll be your responsibility to get the guitar to yourself. With that in mind, actually, these guitars are obviously have not been made yet. And I'm just like you guys. I have a day job. I work 60 hours a week. I do this because it's my passion. It's going to be a little while before these things are done. And there's a lot of experimentation to happen along the way. But to me, that's actually a benefit. You're going to have a lot of say into how the final outcome comes out. And so I think that that makes this actually really cool and really fun. So it's not going to happen overnight. These guitars won't materialize overnight. But I think it's actually a benefit. So with all that out of the way, when you sign up, I'll be sending newsletters. I won't be collecting your information. I won't be selling your information. I won't be spamming. I don't have anything to spam you with. I don't have products to spam you with. So I won't be spamming your email with a bunch of stuff. You will get newsletter updates. There will be updates on the channel. I am not going to do a full build video until all the guitars are done. I can't tell you how excited I am about these guitars finally becoming a reality and getting them out of my head and onto the work table. So I'm looking forward to this, and I hope you guys like the idea too. Anyway, I hope I hear from you guys. I hope you guys like the idea. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for participating, and peace out.